They call this version the Lite Show, but it's not Blackpool Illuminations, is it? So this is the Asics GT 2000 version 6 Lite Show, which is quite a mouthful. This is your traditional road shoe. It's a stability type shoe, so you have a bit more arch support. I would personally classify this as a mid-level amount of arch support, so more than say an Ultra Boost ST, but not as much as a full support shoe. It's actually quite a nice kind of mount there. You've got flight foam here within there, but what they've done is quite often you'll see on a stability shoe that they'll have a section around sort of here, which is going to be like the stability section, and they put it a different color. With here, they've just made it the same color. So this rubber here is firmer than say this rubber here, and you can feel it if you try and squidge it with your fingers. You've got a fairly traditional rubber outsole there. You can see it's got this kind of guide rail with a section here, and this is supposed to sort of guide you through your foot strike. You've got their flight foam EVA, which is supposed to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more cushion, a little bit more responsive. Don't they all say that? But you've also got gel in this, so you can see some of the gel here, and there's another gel section sort of around about there somewhere. One of the things they've done for this is the gel section here is angled. So the idea is when your foot strikes, like so, by having the gel section angled, it's supposed to give you a better sort of transition through your heel strike. A mesh upper with your traditional welded overlays. It's quite good breathability. It's quite good breathability. You can actually see through these holes here. And the Lite Show version is this sort of luminous high-vis green type colour, which reflects car headlights. Although, let's be frank, it's quite a small thing. I mean, I'm 6'4". Hopefully they're going to see me before they're going to see a bit of... Anyway, that's the Lite Show part. You've also got this ribbed section at the back for the heel counter. They call it something, I don't know, some sort of exoskeleton thing. I'd call it ribbed, but then I have a childish sense of humour and I think ribbed sounds like condoms. But it is ribbed. It is a ribbed section. Anyway, by the by. You've got a 10mm heel to toe drop. In terms of weight, it's not a light shoe. It comes in at 12 3/4 ounces, for me a UK size 11, which comes in at 363 grams. So it's not, you know, exactly a light shoe. It does run true to size as well. In fact, there's loads of space in here. So let's get into what is great and what's not so great. Well, for a start, as I say, the spacing in this shoe. Loads of room in this shoe. You've got ample room for your toes to splay. In fact, when I first started wearing it, just kind of left the laces as they were, tied them up, went for a run. So when I got back, almost redid the laces. I didn't take them off, but I actually spent time kind of more cinching them down to try and close this up, because it was almost like there was too much for me. It was almost like it a bit sloppy. So then did another run the next day with them sort of cinched up, came back from that run, re-cinched them up even more, and thought I've probably gone too far now, but I hadn't. I'd actually then got it just about right. So there's a lot of space, and you really do need to kind of faff about with the laces to get that upper section kind of right. Otherwise it may feel a bit kind of baggy. I had to really kind of just play around just to get it sort of dialed in, and even then I've still got like you know, loads of space. Almost, you could say, too much. I wouldn't say that, because I do like a bit of room for my toes to splay, and I think that's a good healthy thing if you don't want to have tons of black toenails and what have you. But if you're of a wider foot, and maybe they do different shoe widths in this, but if you just want just a little bit more space, or you do struggle sometimes on the width, then give this a try, because it is a nice spacious shoe. So I do like the cushioning. I found that works really well. It's good for long runs, short runs, your grindy runs, your tempo runs. I personally really started to like this shoe when I was doing those sort of slightly more tempo runs, where I'm picking up the pace a little bit, you know, not where I'm trying to do sprints or intervals, although I'm sure you could do that kind of thing in this shoe, no problem, but just when I'm just maybe picking up the pace a little bit. Then it just seemed to come alive a little bit, seemed to pop a little bit more. It just felt a bit more fun and funky, and I was just started to enjoy the shoe and started to appreciate it when I was picking up the pace. When I was doing those more grindy runs in it, it was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It didn't make me feel like it was really looking after me on the long runs, but it wasn't working against me either. It was just quite reasonable. But when I picked the pace up, I started to enjoy it a little bit more, and then I started to appreciate the ride, the comfort, the sort of energy return that I was getting. Don't know if that's from the gel or the flight foam or just the general way the shoe's constructed, but I was enjoying it. I was having fun with it. I enjoyed the ride. I enjoyed the transition with the gel. To be fair, you don't even feel the gel. It just feels like it's nice. The way that the strike rolls through just feels good. There also is a decent amount of rubber on there. So I think in terms of longevity, mine's a bit dirty. In terms of longevity, I think this is going to last a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if this shoe doesn't just do you tons and tons of miles. Interestingly, the Asics Kayano is a very similar shoe to this. It's got bigger gel pads, blocks, gel sections, whatever, however one describes a chunk of gel. It's got bigger gel areas in it. It doesn't actually give you more arch support, the Kayano, or anything else. It's just got this bigger gel and it's got a bit more shoe. But this shoe's already a little bit weighty, so I don't know if I'd want any more weight. But anyway, there's not much between the two of them apparently. I haven't run in the latest Kayano for years, and my last pair I had was years and years ago, so I can't really vouch that for too much. But I just enjoy the ride in this shoe. It feels, yeah, it's a fun shoe. But it's not all lollipops and ice cream. What are the things that maybe aren't so great? Well, not much. I mean, you do have to play around to just get the fit right, and at first I didn't really enjoy the shoe because I hadn't kind of dialed in the laces. So just kind of be warned, you do need to kind of faff about a little bit to get the fit so that it's not too tight and it's not too loose. Too loose was the problem I had at first. So I had to kind of faff about a little bit there and get those laces just right. I do get a tiny little bit of movement here. There is plenty of padding around here, but every now and then I just kind of feel I'm just getting a little bit of movement from the collar. Like maybe again, there's a bit too much shoe width. Maybe it just doesn't feel quite as dialed in around the collar. The heel is fine. It's just these kind of sections here, they just feel there's a little bit of movement that maybe they should be a little bit more dialed in. I am nitpicking, to be fair. It's a very minor critique. I haven't had any sort of rubbing hot spots as such. I can just feel this isn't quite as dialed in as I would like it to be in terms of fit when I'm running. But it's a really minor quibble that I just notice every now and then. It's not a kind of constant rubbing or anything like that. Otherwise, yeah, I would like it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm kind of glad I bought this one and not the Kayano, because this one comes in a little bit porky, I think, on the weight front. I don't know, there is an awful lot of plastic and stuff going on here. One could argue, well, that contributes to the general fit and stability, but it is a little bit heavy. I would like it to be just a smidge lighter. But otherwise, no, I'm kind of quite pleased that I got these. I'm enjoying my running in them. They feel that they're going to last a long time. I quite like the looks. I'd say it's the best looking shoe in the world. It's all right. You know, it's not bad, kind of funky. But yeah, it's a good all-rounder. There's nothing mega to sort of criticize it for. It just does a good things. It just does what you need it to do. It gives you decent support, decent comfort, decent fit. It's all pretty darn good. So yeah, to me, it's a 5-star shoe. There's nothing to really kind of not like about it per se. Yes, there's a couple of bits that you can pick holes in, but it's a really good all-rounder, and I'm really enjoying running in it. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.